We have the ability to make choices, but we can't choose the consequences. Here is a local family's struggle to bear the consequences of one tragic choice. When the Boyden family moved from Sunland to Bakersfield, California, the future looked bright. Young Joyce Boyden was surrounded by love and opportunity.
There were 4 children, 1 son and 3 daughters. Joyce was the middle daughter. She had blonde hair, blue eyes, happy and very even-tempered and very friendly. We moved to Bakersfield when she was in the 1st grade. She went to Colonel Nichols Elementary. Actually, she started playing, got in the band and played drums, and then on to Chipman Junior High and in the band, and then on to Highland. But Joyce was just always very energetic, and she just developed a fun style. She loved looking good, knew she looked good, and she went on to go to Federico's Beauty College. And after she graduated, she started working up a clientele and built up a good business as one of the top hairdressers in town.
There was a promotion at a fast food restaurant. I had won a trip for 2 to Hawaii. And so now the question, well, who am I going to take? Of course I was going to take my best friend, my sister Joyce. There were to be no chaperones, parties on the beach. We were young, we were out to have a great time. That's exactly what we did. Earlier in the evening, we'd been on a sailboat cruise, kind of a champagne dinner blast to have a good time, and she and I went. Well, as it got later, the party broke up, the boat docked, and the party was over at that point. We were approached by a young, nice-looking guy. He said, "Girls, you want to go to an after-hours beach party?" And I said, "Well, I'm kind of tired, I want to head back to the room." Joyce said, "I'm going, count me in. I'll see you later if that's all right." She did. She was out most of the night. And we had a really good time. But when we returned to California, we had great memories that we returned with, but what we didn't know for about another year later is that Joyce returned with the AIDS virus.
I could tell that Joyce was very worried about something, very troubled. I remember every detail about the night Joyce told me that she was infected with AIDS. She called me on the phone and asked me to come over. There was something important that she needed to tell me. And she took a blanket outside and laid it on the grass and said, "Mom, sit down." I said, "Joyce, you can tell me. There's nothing that you can't tell me. You know, we can work out, we can solve any problem." And she said, "Mom, I'm infected with AIDS." And I mean, time stood still. I couldn't speak, I was just in a state of shock. And she finally said, "Mom, I was going to do it all." And we just sobbed.
I was 17 years old when I found out that Joyce had HIV. And my initial thought was, well, so what? We'll all be okay. You know, maybe people die from it, maybe they won't. Joyce certainly won't die. You know, she's young and healthy, and everything's gonna be okay. And it made me stop and think that one wrong action is gonna end Joyce's life. She went out one night and met somebody very wonderful, and you know, they became boyfriend and girlfriend, and we were all excited thinking, you know, maybe this is the one, maybe this is the one. He just made Joyce so happy. And the problem was what was going to happen once Joyce told him that she had HIV. She said, "I have something to tell you." She said, "You know what Ryan White has, AIDS?" And he said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, I have AIDS." He was so wonderful. He said, "Is that all you wanted to tell me, honey? I thought you were going to say that you were going to leave me." And, you know, talk about a gift from God. You know, he was the answer to Joyce's prayers. So when he proposed to her, we were all thrilled. I mean, you know, in spite of her being ill, and although we knew it wouldn't be the storybook ending that, you know, all of us girls want when we're little, she was still able to have this thrill. You know, she'd you know, what's her hair gonna look like? My dad's gonna get to walk her down the aisle, and that's something that we never thought that Joyce would have, and she never thought she would have. At the reception, Joyce said to her new husband, "And honey, I'll love you forever and ever." And unfortunately, Joyce's forever was only a year because she died right after her first wedding anniversary. And I've realized that there are consequences to everything we do. Good consequences, bad consequences. Joyce died as a result of a choice that she made. Death was the consequence for unprotected sex and not being abstinent. Death was Joyce's consequence.
Joyce's mother knows what Joyce would say to those wondering about their own choices.
Joyce would know that there are no do-overs. Once you are infected with AIDS, there are no do-overs. Once you're infected, you are infected. Your life will never be the same, and you will end up dying. You know, young people do not die easily. They have to be very, very sick, and they get sick little by little. Abstinence is the only way that you can know for sure that you're not going to get infected with the AIDS virus. If Joyce would have had a chance to take the HIV classes that are available in the high schools today, she would still be alive.